Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On, and in this video we're going to go through everything that you need to know about this year's Call of Duty World War II. Now, for those of you that don't already know, this year's game is being developed by Sledgehammer Games, who are making their second ever Call of Duty after making Advanced Warfare 3 years ago, though have also developed games like Dead Space, which we'll come onto a little bit later as it's quite important for this year's Call of Duty. First up is something that I think every single first-person shooter fan will be happy about, and that is this year's Call of Duty is going back to a phrase that has been massively overused the past few months, but boots on the ground combat. That means there's not going to be jetpacks, there's not going to be people wall running, which I'm sure we can all be thankful about. We're going to have a similar core gameplay experience that we've been used to with Call of Duty throughout the Modern Warfare series and the first couple of Black Ops games, which I'm really excited about. Which leads us on to the setting. One of the major reasons Call of Duty has gone back to boots on the ground combat is because this year's game is going to be set during World War II. Now, to make the game as historically authentic as possible, which is really important, Sledgehammer Games employed the historian Marty Morgan to work on the game. The team spent hours on gun ranges firing authentic World War II weapons to make them behave as similar in game as they do in real life, as well as looking at every vehicle, every battleground to get everything as close as possible to the real thing. And this level of detail that Sledgehammer Games have gone into in Call of Duty World War II, I feel is going to really pay off. Whether that's throughout the multiplayer or the campaign, which we've seen a little bit of through the reveal trailer and the stream. Which leads me onto the campaign, which I feel is going to open up the story of World War II to a whole new generation, as we haven't had a Call of Duty game based during that period in 10 years. Call of Duty World War II is set between 1944 and 1945, during big events such as the D-Day landings in Normandy and the Hurtgen Forest, which is east of the Belgium-German border, and then later on in the game, that final march on to Germany. The campaign will revolve around the platoon that has been nicknamed the Bloody First, where you'll play as Private Ronald Red Daniels, who is seeing his first action during World War II, along with other members of the platoon, Lieutenant Joseph Turner, Technical Sergeant William Pearson, and Private Ronald Daniels' best friend from home, Private Robert Zussman. And one thing you'll also probably pick up on is that the characters are played by some incredibly talented actors like Josh Duhamel, who's been in films like Transformers, which is just going to help add to that immersive experience that we're going to have in Call of Duty World War II, and how the characters' relationships develop throughout the story. And from what we've seen so far, it seems to be quite dark, but brings this group of soldiers together. Next up, we have something that I am the most excited about, and that's the multiplayer. What we know so far is that we'll be finding out a lot more about the multiplayer at E3 in June, with it being playable there, so it appears to be a very similar timeline to the Black Ops 3 reveal. We also got a World War II multiplayer beta confirmed, which will run for a minimum of 3 days, meaning we can expect it to run over the course of a weekend, and if they stick to the same launch schedule as Black Ops 3, we can expect that beta to be sometime in August, though no dates have been confirmed as of yet. We also got a sneak peek at a brand new social space for Call of Duty called Headquarters, which if you've played Destiny, you'll be very used to, as it'll work in the same way as the Tower, which is Destiny's social hub. Headquarters will allow you to show off, compete, and be rewarded, meaning you'll have a lot more to do outside of games in this year's Call of Duty. Some brand new game modes have also been announced for World War II, with the new mode War being the one that I'm most excited about. Some of you may remember that War was a game mode back in Call of Duty World at War 10 years ago, but it sounds like Sledgehammer have taken a completely new approach with it, which sounds like it'll be quite similar to Battlefield 1's operations. You'll either play as the Allied forces or the Axis and attack and defend objectives, and potentially this could have the most players in a multiplayer game mode we've ever had in Call of Duty, with there being between 2 to 48 players in multiplayer, though this might just be in the Headquarters social area. And finally, I mentioned how Sledgehammer Games made Dead Space at the start of the video, and it's quite important because of their take on the Nazi zombies co-op mode in Call of Duty World War II. We only got to see one small little teaser image for zombies, which isn't what we've been used to from Treyarch's version, because they look a hell of a lot scarier, and that's because by the sounds of it, it might not be the traditional wave-based zombies mode we've been used to, but its own narrative standalone experience, but we'll have to wait to find out more. more. But there we have it, everything that you need to know about Call of Duty World War II ahead of E3. Do make sure to share anything we may have missed in the comments below, subscribe for more gaming content, and drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!